I went to a 1-year-old birthday party today. I've been thinking for the last couple of days what to talk about for my cultural show, but it took a 1-year-old birthday party for it to finally hit me. As we saw this week, we saw the Daily Wire boys mockingly making fun of AOC, rightfully so, unrightfully so. You be the judge of that. How she tweeted out about her grandmother's living conditions, that she probably rakes in lots of money for all her little deals here and there, and just how much her salary already and all that stuff, and isn't helping out. So the boys at Daily Wire decided to put all their money together in a mocking way to make fun of her to help her grandmother out. In good faith? I don't think so. But in a mocking way. But I had been thinking about that. And as I went to this 1-year-old's birthday party, a 3-year-old took a piece of cake and stuck it to his forehead. And they just left it there. And didn't even care. Didn't say anything. No parents stopped it. It was unbelievable. It was hilarious and it was funny, but it made me start thinking, as he went on throughout the rest of the evening of having cake on his forehead, he didn't care. He knew he had cake on his forehead, but he was looking at everyone else. And I've been thinking about this all week, about how, as a culture, we're obsessed with counseling other people, getting rid of people, making fun of other people, looking at other people's misfortunes, and then making a mockery out of it, waiting for people to slip up constantly, always wanting people to ruin their lives before our eyes because we like it. We're excited by it. And I'm a victim. I'm a perpetuator. I enjoy that culture too. But is it the most wise thing in the world? Is it something that we should cherish? Is it something that we should enjoy and tell other people to enjoy? A lot of prominent podcasters, YouTubers are constantly mocking other people, making fun of other people, and that's okay, but it's never mocking themselves. That's sometimes if you can't make fun of yourselves, then you should not be able to make fun of anyone else. I make fun of myself all the time. But that kid was walking around with cake on his forehead and just laughing, having a good time. He knew he was messed up on the outside. He knew he had something on his forehead, but he just kept living. And I just wonder if that's how we should be. We should all know that we're walking around with cake on our forehead. We all look ridiculous from time to time. We're all not perfect. In this cancel culture, people are walking around like they don't have cake on their face. They're free from blame. They're okay with everything. And bro, I'm always good. I'm a good person. I do everything good. I don't say anything negative. There's nothing I can say that has any consequences because I'm just good. I just want the good for society, and I want to believe whatever's good, and I want you to be the best you can be, and you can be whatever you want, and I just blah 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 blah. But we're never looking at ourselves of how we can better ourselves. Even as an educator working with kids, it's like you're not allowed to say negative things about kids. We're in a society that we don't accept the fact that we're like terrible human beings on the outside and inside sometimes. We think terrible thoughts. We have evil thoughts. And so maybe this week is something to think about, and it's something that's been mulling over in my head over and over again, is just seeing the Daily Wire guys just mockingly pay for abuela's apartment. And you could disagree with me, and that's totally fine. I appreciate that. I like people that listen to my podcast that disagree with me. I don't want everyone just to believe everything I'm saying. I don't want it to be a yes chamber, you know? I want it to be a challenging chamber, maybe something that I pushed out and made you think in a different way. That's what I want. I don't want this to be like, oh, yes, get him, yes. Like, what a boring podcast. If you just listen to people that you just agree with all the time, that never challenge the way you think, what? Why? Where's the growth in that? But maybe my challenge to you this week, and for the rest of the week, maybe the rest of your life, is to be like the kid. Know that on the outside, on the inside, you have crap going on. You have evil within you. You look ridiculous. And so when you come across somebody else who looks ridiculous or are doing stupid things or said something stupid and wants to take it back, allow them to take it back, because guess what? You also have cake on your face. You also look ridiculous. You're also part of the problem. Sometimes I wish as a culture we would be more inward thinking in a sense that of how to do better in the world, as opposed to just focusing on everyone else's mistakes, everyone else's faults, everyone else's way of thinking. We want to police the world and tell people what to believe, what to say, how to say it, and how to say it correctly. Instead of, if somebody comes up to you and misgenders you or calls you something else, instead have grace, have a sense of humanity, have a sense of, I have crap going on too. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect, but we can learn to like each other and love each other. And maybe not. Maybe you're just a douche and you want to stay that way the rest of your life. And that's who you are. And that's okay. But you should own that and know that you also have cake on your face. And so maybe this week, maybe the rest of your life, I just want to encourage you to be like the kid. Walk around, laugh at other people, but also know that on the outside, you also are ridiculous. You also change your mind. You also say stupid things. You also maybe put a tweet out there that you regret and you wish you could take back. You also are like me and maybe have said something you probably regret later on. Wish you could take it back, but you can't now because it's in the past. And so you just have to move on. And maybe have grace for others that say something over the top or say something ridiculous. Even this week, I had a couple Antifa members come out and flat out attack me, told me they're going to beat me up, blah, 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 blah. Say terrible things to me because I was talking about how they were going around beating up a gay Asian reporter, and you are just like the Nazis. I know you pretend like you're not, but you are the Nazis. That is the idea of the Nazis, just beating up gay Asians. What? How is that not a Nazi ideology? How's that not part of who they are? You're not accepting of people. You're not accepting of reporters that just blast you because, hey, I was committing a crime and you filmed me doing it. Oh my God. Of course, idiot. But I even look at those Antifa people that attack me and I feel sorry for them. There are a couple of people that have come out against me on my podcast. I just say things like, I just know that every time you attack me, it just kind of tells me how insecure you are, how of an insecure person you are to go out and attack someone else when you don't even, instead of like, why don't you just look for something you enjoy on the internet as opposed to just looking around on the internet for things to destroy? Because that's what half of I feel like half of America is just people walking around wishing to destroy things like, you said that. I can't believe that. Your career is done. You're forever canceled. I even hate the word cancel culture. It's silencing people. It's telling people to shut up. It's people walking around not thinking like that kid having cake on their face. They also have made mistakes. They also have thought terrible thoughts. They also have said terrible things. Have grace towards another person. I want to challenge you. I know there's this new. I just want to challenge you to be a peacemaker, I guess. I know there's like this new fight of like conservatives, like, you need to push back, you need to fight, you need to. And I just think that conservatives, libertarians, especially Christians, we just have a different calling of fighting. We have a different way of fighting. We're called to be peacemakers. We're called to. Yes, I realize it's different when they're fighting against our children and stuff, and that's a different conversation. But I think our ultimate goal is that forgiveness needs to be on the plate always, no matter what. Because if you can't forgive another person, how can you expect to be forgiven? That's like the hardest truth that I read in Scripture is that if you can't forgive another person, how can you expect God to forgive? And he's not saying that he's not going to forgive you, but he's putting that challenge out there, saying this is the standard. To be a peacemaker, to bring heaven to earth, to love your neighbor, love another person, is to forgive, is to love, is to, when they're hitting you, turn the other cheek. So I think it's great what the Daily Wire is doing, but I wish they would do it in a way that's more loving and caring as opposed to as a mockery. And I get that. There's like a part of you that wants to fight back because they've been making fun of you, shoving it down your throat, mocking you constantly, and all that stuff over and over again. And you start to feel like the kid in the playground that's been bullied your whole life throughout the 90s and early 2000s, and now you're ready to stand up and fight, and I'm with you on that. But I also wonder if maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to challenge myself, I guess. Maybe that's a new way of me of thinking. And yes, I'm always in favor of punching up, because punching down is stupid. I would never make fun of another person's account that's smaller than mine, or a person that's different. It's different when you're talking about the president and stuff like that. And I always want to never like argue a person, calling them stupid, like calling Biden an idiot. I like AOC dumb. I want to argue that the way that they think, or the things that they believe, or the bills they put forward, or the philosophy and way to live, I want to argue against those and make a mockery of those, or like come against those and dismantle those and take out those ways of thinking, because it's those thoughts that can become very powerful, not as necessarily as the person being powerful. So that's my challenge to you maybe this week, is to walk around knowing that you have cake on your face, and to treat other people the same way, that they also have cake on their face. They also have said things I need to be forgiven for, but walk around with forgiveness first policy. And that's why I want to encourage you guys this week, and let me know your thoughts on that. You can comment below if you're watching a video, or you can email me at theDerekO'SheaShow.com. DerekO'SheaShow@gmail.com. I would appreciate you guys. And I just want to say again, thank you guys so much for listening to me rant, to me talk on my show this week. This week's going to be a little different, just because I have stuff going on in my life. But look out for the show and look out for stuff like that. I hope you guys are still looking forward to it, enjoy my show, and I appreciate you guys. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys, and I appreciate you for taking time in your day to listen to me. As always, I'll see you on the next episode of The Derek O'Shea Show.